Stable currencies recently received the huge green light, which is why we have been following them for a while. We have progressed to the point where stable coins are now accepted as a kind of money. And by that I mean that stable coins are now going to be incorporated into the US financial system since the government has approved them. Furthermore, there are a few reasons why RLUSD is a unique currency, in addition to the fact that it is linked to the XRP ledger. Naturally, in terms of stablecoins that are regulated and compliant, RLUSD is most likely at the top of the food chain. Indeed, USDC is included in it as well. We'll cover a lot of ground on RLUSD. However, I would like to begin by just discussing the rise of RLUSD, the market capitalization. The market capitalization, or RLUSD overall value, has increased by over 20%, or nearly 5%, over the past 30 days. Right now, we have close to $520 million. It's fascinating to observe how borders, monthly transfer volume, and monthly active addresses all keep increasing. It's important to note that the majority of the XRP ledger RLUSD only accounts for 12.73% of the market share. Actually, the majority of RLUSD is on Ethereum, which you may view negatively, but bear with me. We're going to see a lot of that momentum and a lot of that power move from Ethereum to other layer ones. In my opinion, especially with the EVM sidechain and as RLUSD begins to emerge as a major adopting stablecoin, and I do believe that a significant amount of RLUSD will be seen in XRP during that period. Now, as you consider this, let's take a brief look at stablecoins, given that the RLUSD has been increasing as it has. Now I can say with certainty that RLUSD is lagging behind several stablecoin ventures. For instance, there are 527.74 million RLUSD in circulation, as opposed to the over 520 million that RLUSD tracks. Furthermore, stablecoins themselves simply keep rising when we consider this. Actually, the market capitalization of stablecoins is over 260, about 5 billion. 5 billion. And this just keeps getting higher and higher. Naturally, since even USDC has been rising gradually over the past few weeks, I believe that this is probably a good time to track practically all stable coins. I just want to show you all how much growth there is for all of these stable coins. If we actually take a short look at USDC, we still need to account for Tether when calculating the monthly transfer volume for the majority of these stablecoins, including USDC. Seeing these stablecoins continue to flourish and gain popularity has been incredibly thrilling. This is an excellent predictor of the future. However, RLUSD is nearly entering the top 10 now that we are at nearly 530 million. If we truly look at this list over here, the top 10. When we compare the top 10 on the stablecoin list over here to the number 10 slot, the difference is 585.9 million. We are currently at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. In fact, RLUSD is currently ranked 10th. It's really quite amazing to see that it currently ranks 9th in terms of stable coins. And since PayPal USD is at 865 million, and this is virtually in 9th place, we might be able to reduce that gap by the end of this year. As Brad and Reese Merrick have stated, I would love to see RLUSD truly kind of evolve to become one of the top 5 stable coins, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Here is a list of stablecoins including RLUSD, along with the amount of growth that has occurred. Stablecoins are just starting to really, open up at this great time and grow to be a significant component of the world financial system, and we got precisely that. As I previously stated, RLUSD is currently at the top of the food chain. The number of RLUSD being issued keeps increasing. We have 16 million on July 8, 11 July, 16.5 million, then 10 million over here too. We enjoy seeing an increasing number of RLUSD minted, TUD, and many people claim that since it's on Ethereum, it makes no difference. However, as I mentioned earlier, I do think that will be resolved in due course. However, Ripple has given us a significant update stating that RLUSD, which was developed for enterprise use cases, has the security, compliance, and scale that multinational corporations want. We value RLUSD status as the most reliable stablecoin on the market, and blue chip orgs agree. It's a grade. Indeed, this is a significant one since Blue Chip Org claims that the stablecoin with the highest rating has remained constant. However, as of right now, RLUSD is the top-ranked stablecoin. Blue Chip is starting to cover RLUSD by Ripple, giving it an A rating at first. This supports our opinion that RLUSD is among the most stable and safest coins on the market. Here's the rating in terms of governance, management, and stability. Ripple's RLUSD is supported by bank deposits, government money market funds, and U.S. Treasury bills. Flow. The credit and duration risk of these assets is among the lowest. The New York Department of Financial Services oversees RLUSDs. This puts Ripple under some of the strictest regulations and oversight standards. Additionally, we have RLUSD from Ripple over here. Ripple over here. The Bank of New York Mellon, the world's largest custodian of financial instruments and a systemically important financial institution, is the one holding the reserves. For the advantage of token holders, RLUSD reserves are kept in separate accounts. These assets will probably continue to be shielded from the issuer's possible bankruptcy. While retail users can access secondary markets through centralized exchanges, institutional users can mint and redeem RLUSD directly. However, this grade is a huge A+. Ripple is in a whole new class, and this is precisely why Ro likes it. That's what's crazy about it. All right, the most reliable coin available in this market at the moment is most likely RLUSD. I'm even going so far as to put it over Circle. I'm putting it above all else. We can see how dedicated BNY Mellon is to ensuring that RLUSD is among the top 5 most stable coins by the fact that they are a custodian of the currency and that we are seeing more and more movements around it. However, they also aim to guarantee that it is among the most reliable and successful coins. You should be able to know exactly what level RLUSD is running on because a company like BNY is a custodian and major reserve custodian of RLUSD. In addition, the White House recently released a significant update. Yes, exactly. The Genius Act has been ratified. Trump did declare that he would sign it as soon as it reached his desk. He wasn't lying either. Yeah. The Genius Act establishes a straightforward regulatory framework for dollar-backed stablecoins, allowing them to realize their enormous potential. This might be the biggest financial technological revolution since the internet's inception. Additionally, the Crypto Genius Act is formally signed into law in this video. Take a look. Haha, scandal. It would be a huge scandal if that were a Republican. However, it is among the most significant scandals of our era. Many thanks, the Genius Act has now been formally signed into law. And as I mentioned, this is a huge moment to pay attention to stablecoins. In reaction to the 2008 financial crisis, the last significant financial regulation statute was passed 15 years ago. Brad Garlinghouse added, the Genius Act signing tomorrow solidifies the United States' position as a pioneer in stablecoins and other genuinely cutting-edge financial technology. This is a historic time, and I, for one, am excited for everything that this groundbreaking legislation will bring about. Veto. And yes, as promised, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, tended the signing ceremony of the Genius Act into law at the White House on the day we get to sign it into law. We have never seen a more crypto-forward administration than this one. And yes, that's really intriguing because it makes me think of the announcement of RLUSD. So, about a week before to the announcement, Ripple met with the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury to discuss the implementation of stablecoins, tokenization, and CBDC in the U.S. financial system. It goes without saying that CBDCs are prohibited. However, stablecoins are accepted, which is somewhat similar to what I've discussed on several times. However, it's incredible how many coincidences there are. Furthermore, I don't think coincidences exist. I've told you guys numerous times. The fact that RLUSD is currently rated a plus by a well-known company like Blue Chip, which indicates that it is the most secure stablecoin, is something I seriously believe. We observe all of RLUSD's strength. We observe all of the constructive actions they have been taking. We observe that the main backup custodian of Ripple's RLUSD is BNY, one of the biggest companies in the market. Additionally, we are aware that Ripple has sought to become a bank, which would enable the Federal Reserve to hold RLUSD in reserves. Given everything that has been done thus far, including the signing of the Genius Act into law, I firmly feel that there is a very high likelihood, And by this, I mean that the likelihood that this will actually occur is likely in the high 70% level, or